imagine that, with President Trump right now calling all of these news organizations that have inconvenient for him stories that they're getting out there, that he's calling fake news, and now lashing out at platforms. I would never want to see our executive branch have that sort of power.
You can be in charge of it if you want. Okay, that I'll do.
And that's why, the legislative process with our duly elected officials is really important, that sort of consultative rulemaking process. And we can't just govern by executive order anymore.
People can persuade themselves of anything. Don't you think that, human beings? Like when you've done something wrong yourself, like maybe you're stealing something. It's not really stealing. I mean, they probably won't miss. They're probably going to just throw this away. If you've got no actual principles, then you can just sort of do what you want. And I think that our systems of government, our systems of regulation should be, one, elected by the people that are affected by them, and should be reflections of our better nature, and should be as local as possible, as close to the people affected by them as is reasonable or feasible. Not abstract, centralised rules where people make stuff up that's not going to affect them because it's convenient for them. What happens if Trump wins in 2024? You can't have centralised thing. No.
I think the reverberations in the free speech space are huge.
It's amazing to hear someone even use free speech that's not from what you would regard or what is regarded as the right. Free speech now has been repackaged as, people don't want free speech. They can go around being sexist, racist, misogynist, hateful, transphobic. I believe in free speech, and I don't believe in any of those things. That people should treat one another with love and respect where possible, judging each other as individuals, not judging each other at all where possible, and approaching things with a set of universal principles that can be applied no matter what the bloody demographic data is of the group or individual you're talking about. That's what I believe, and I believe in free speech. And evidently, a few years ago, that's what people, generally speaking, on the left used to believe. Well, look at it now. Free speech, essentially, might as well have a swastika in the middle of it.
Not to mention, this is exactly what Section 230 was designed to do, to allow the platforms to enforce the standards on their own spaces.
There she is, a young, reasonable person making a lot of reasonable points. Now, as long as those points hold fast, whoever's in government, then I've got no problem. Let's see what she's up to now.
Information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So, disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious.
I don't know why she's doing this. What's going on?
It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie.
I'm not sure that this is the right person to run the old Disinformation Governance Board.
When Rudy Giuliani shared bad intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice or vote. Oh!
That's made me feel unusual. What she's done there, she seems to have changed her perspective and her entire outlook on life, preferring to sort of do jaunty little ditties. I suppose we're all entitled to have a little bit of fun, as long as that fun isn't at odds with what the DGB believes fun should be and how fun should be communicated. How can you ever really justify controlling information at that scale in alliance with one particular party when you've expressed the contrary view when another party is in power? One of the few things I can hold up as an example of my integrity is that I disagree with both parties being in power because I disagree with the centralised system of governance that both of them represent. I think confining debate to such a small portion of all potential political conversations is in itself a form of tyranny, and I don't think either party is meaningfully better than the other one in terms of American or British politics, say, for example. So I certainly don't think anyone's got the right to be haughty, supercilious, or to don a little bit of slap and start singing jaunty little ditties about how they know the score. For me, truth is more complicated than that, and it should be resolved in the public sphere, in the public square of ideas. We should debate and converse and recognise that mistakes will be made, lies will be told, as with the Hunter Biden laptop, as with the weapons of mass destruction, as with the case of Julian Assange and how he's been subsequently treated. No political party has dominion over truth. We all make mistakes and errors. The thing I object to most is the idea that some centralised government body will know better about what kind of information I can digest than I would.